Good evening. We'll call the regular meeting of the Norwalk WPCA to order. It is 5:32. There's a quorum present. And it's Tuesday, the 21st of January. So item number 2, is there any public guests here to speak?
If anybody would like to speak, can you please raise your hand electronically? No, we do not.
Nobody's here. Okay, it is still 5:32. I would like to ask for a motion to take the agenda out of order and go into executive session, item number 8 right now. Is there a motion?
So moved.
By Mr. Igneri, all in favor? Aye. Bovee, Ostafine, Igneri, Manella, Frayer, and Smith, unanimous. It is 5:33. I'll see you in executive session. It is 6:29. We have just left executive session and no action was taken. We resume the Norwalk WPCA agenda with item number 3, approval of the meeting minutes of the WPCA held on December 16th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. Igneri, any comments, questions, corrections, edits, omissions? None. All in favor? Aye. Let's see, Ostafine, Bovee, Igneri, Manella, and Smith?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Yeah.
Okay, that passes with one abstention. Item number 4, it is 6:30. So, doesn't look like it requires any action. It looks like just a presentation. So,
Mr.
Staff?
Chairman, we have the Water and Current team here, Ken Colbrenner and Katie McGuire. Together, the team put together a presentation for the WPCA on our financial model. So Ken and Katie, welcome to the WPCA meeting. Can you pull up the presentation, please? I'll make sure you guys have access. All right.
Got access and sharing, and if I can find my mute button now after not finding it later, I think we're in good shape.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Ralph, for the introduction, and thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to give an update today on the WPCA's financial plan. We have been working on this plan for several years now, making the updates and have the update this year for the next 5-year look ahead that we will run through. So, as I mentioned, it's updating the financial plan, evaluating the need for rate adjustments and recommendations for those adjustments over the forecast period. Worked closely with the combination of the DPW and WPCA team. Who also worked with the finance team on the city side to review that, and the Water and Current team, myself, Katie McGuire here on the phone here tonight, and Anthony Catalano and James Aiken, who unfortunately weren't able to make it. So for those who've seen this before, should be pretty familiar, but just run through a couple of the assumptions in terms of the basis. As I mentioned, a 5-year forecast period for fiscal year 26 through 2030, starting with the current fiscal year based on the approved budget, looking at an operating reserve target of about 7 months of annual operating budget. So we'll take a look at what that means in terms of where the current cash reserves are and where we project them to be, as well as making sure we're covering the debt service based on all outstanding debt. We have not modeled any change in the customer accounts or flows, so projecting that to be steady, as well as including in terms of the revenue estimates a provision for uncollectible accounts and the flow from Wilton remaining the same, and the revenue projection staying level as that. We've updated that in prior years, but but staying steady for the next several. And so some of the specific numbers in terms of the increases, and we have the ability to adjust these and have worked with the WPCA on this, but looking at 3.5% annual escalation costs for those categories listed there, based on the current annual budget, as well as estimates on the bond rates at 4.6% and an annual rate of 30 years. And again, that may be subject to change as those bonds are actually called, but at least a projection for now. And in terms of the capital improvements, the model includes what is in the 5-year capital improvement plan approved by the WPCA of $36.6 million for the sewer and collection system rehabilitation through 2030, $20 million for the wastewater treatment plant rehabilitation improvements in a couple years out, 26 and 27. And then further out, a capital request of $250,000 for the pump station upgrade and replacement. So being able to layer in those annual costs. I'm sorry, am I realizing? There we go. To project what is needed for the rate increases as that those capital projects are bonded in the future. And so as mentioned, looking to meet or exceed that minimum operating cash reserve and the debt service coverage, and to fully fund the annual operating expenses, reserve, and debt service with the revenues. And so based on that, we are looking at proposing a 4.4% rate increase for the next fiscal year, followed by a steady 4% rate increases for the next 4 years after that. And what that does, this slide shows the current cash reserve, about 22 million. And the red line that's in the blue bars, and the red line is the fund balance target. So that's increasing slightly as we project out as the annual operating expenses increase. And so as additional debt is incurred, we see that fund balance, or the reserve balance, come down over time to just about where we want that target to be 5 years out. So that's primarily the basis for the 5-year projection on the rate increase. What it means in terms of the actual dollars based on the capital expenditures. So we see that those capital expenditures over the next several years, all of that funded by bonds, so no cash expenses for those capital projects, and what that does to the ending operating cash. And so the 210 days being the 7-month target. And so as we project out, ending up right around that target. And what that means for the residential typical single family annual fee. This is going back a couple years prior when we were at $396 and projecting that out, the 4.4 and the 4% increases, annual increases on the order of $18 to $20 per year, looking out over the full 5-year projection. Looking to have that relatively manageable, but still be able to fund the capital needs and the operating expenses for the WPCA. So I ran through that quickly, but happy to take any questions or swing back to a slide if there's a specific question or comment.
Can't see everybody, but I don't see any hands. I think you're frozen, Ken.
Am I froze? I'm,
Okay.
I didn't hear any questions.
Nope,
Yeah.
Ralph or anyone else? I don't know
No,
if there's
please
anything else
proceed.
to add.
The end of the presentation.
Right.
There's no questions.
So,
Please-
so
please proceed.
I just wanna kind of just highlight that, we do understand that we are really trying to really not put much of a burden into our residents. So we're really trying to work to be very close to exactly what we forecast last year. For this year, we were forecasting 4.5% increase, but we're gonna be able to do a 4.4. And for the next 4 years, we're trying to keep at 4. Because we do not know exactly when the consent order will come, as we have been public discussing and what are the projects. There may be few changes in the future on that 4%, but as of now, at least for this year, we can still come a little bit below on what we are projecting on last year's financial model.
So it's a great point, and the advantage of, having that, continual, lookout. We did look even, further, in terms of the model, but, as you said, Vanessa, a little hard to tell, when that consent order is gonna truly hit. So for the, these purposes, focusing on the next 5 years.
Any further questions for Woodward and Corn? Any further presentation from staff? Okay,
Thank you.
hearing none. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Mr.
appreciate it.
Colbrenner.
All right.
You're
Sure.
welcome to stay if you want to.
Thank you. I'll hop off.
Can you
It
just stop
is-
sharing your screen?
Yes.
Okay, it is 6:40. We'll move on to item number 5. Is there a motion to schedule a public hearing for proposed 25-26 user rates on Tuesday, February 18th, 2025 at 5:30? Ms. Smith gets it. Any presentation from staff? No presentation from staff.
Just a question I have, would you like that we also have that model, should we bring back that presentation during the public hearing? Or no?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, if anybody does come, they need to know what we're voting on
Okay,
or what we're talking about.
okay, we'll do that.
I mean, it's really consistent from last year.
Right, we're probably just gonna, instead of having Woodward and Curran, will be just staff presenting the same PowerPoint that we just did, okay?
That works. Ralph, Vanessa, you've got the slides, and happy to support if anything comes up in the meantime.
Okay,
Great.
wonderful, thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Costa Fine, Smith, Bovee, Manella, Igneri, that passes unanimously. Thank you. On to item number 6. It is 6:42. And no action is required. Please proceed with the report.
Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year, since I haven't seen you all since the year turned over. So we'll go through operations report for Veolia. Start with some collections system highlights. So this month, or December rather, we completed 1.69 miles of CCTV, 0.48 miles of cleaning, 72 manhole inspections, and 0.92 miles of SLRAT with 2 miles of hot list cleaning. It gets difficult to get a lot of cleaning done when the temperature gets as low as it is on a day like today. So these, we have to shuffle around as we go. We responded to 16 service calls, and we completed 33 IPP inspections. So we had a strong month there. Moving over to the facility itself, on the maintenance side of things, we replaced an anoxic mixer in one of the aeration tanks, which is critical for nitrogen removal. And we have successfully repaired one of the primary clarifiers and been able to keep that running. So that's been great. Moving over to operations, we had with the calendar year ending, we have our final numbers for nitrogen performance for the year. We came in at 685 pounds per day average. The limit or target, I guess you would say, is 718 pounds a day. So we came in under that, which is good. And I'm just very happy with the way the facility is performing. We started out kind of in the red a little bit because this pounds-based measurement is very flow dependent, and with the heavy rain to start last year, we kind of started behind, and we had to fight back to get to this number. So the team's really done a good job using all the instrumentation on the aeration basins to drive this number where we need it. So everything's performing really well at the facility. We did have one near storm event, which was actually on New Year's Eve. A quick rainstorm came through the coast area, and our flows got up right about a little over 30 million gallons a day. I can say we had a great team response. We had multiple operators on, and myself, Ross, and our maintenance manager Peter were actually all watching SCADA on our phones as the ball was dropping, trying to make sure that everything was taken care of. So we were able to handle the flow without going into storm flow, but it was a great show of everyone being dedicated to what we do here. So on the regulatory side of things, we were compliant with our permit for all those requirements for the month of December. We submitted all reports, including the DMR, MOR, and NAR. And we completed quarterly sludge and annual sludge reports for Synagro. So all in all, good end to the year for the facility. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Trevor? No. Thank you, Mr. Steeprock.
You're welcome.
It is 6:46. And we'll move on to item number 7, reports.
Under reports, item A, we have the fiscal year 24-25 revenues expenditures munis report. A copy of that is included. Item B, we have the draft fiscal year 25-26 capital budget with the 5-year request. A copy of that is included. We have the draft fiscal year 25-26 operating budget. A copy of that is included as well if there's any questions. Under WPC engineering projects, we have the Beacon Street Sanitary Sewer project. We provided our consultant Brown and Caldwell the 30% design comments. They're currently progressing 30% to 60% design. The catch basin disconnect program, that's currently on hold, as that's part of our collector system master plan. That's under review with Connecticut DEP. The Hubble Lane Relief Sewer project, we're working with our consultant Brown and Caldwell to progress from 90% design to 100% design, including updates to the specifications. And they're preparing to do test bits as well to confirm utilities. Under WPCA construction projects, we have the Bell Island Sandus Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Project. The in-situ form crews are currently preparing to start up on the manhole rehab and the lateral grouting work in the next few weeks. And under SCADA projects, we're continuing SCADA enhancements at the pump stations and at the treatment plant.
For Keeler Pump Station, the city staff has been working with the insurance company as well as FEMA on the claims for the Keeler Station.
And the sewer use appeals, we're at $82,724.
Anybody have any questions of staff on the report? Any questions on anything on the agenda or not on the agenda? Is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Neri, all in favor? Aye. That's unanimous. It is 6:48 PM. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks. I'll see you guys in February.
Take care.
Easy, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Good night, everyone.